All right. I'm not a spiritual leader right here. My name is Genesis Chapman, and I've been asked to sort of discuss a little bit about the MVP and some of the stuff that's going on in southwestern Virginia and how it's affecting my community of Bent Mountain specifically, as well as some of the other affected communities of along the MVP line. So I'm from Bent Mountain. I grew up there. I've lived most of my life there, and it's a beautiful place. It definitely should not be turned into an industrial wasteland for someone out of state to benefit from. These past 4 years on the mountain, I have seen a lot of stuff. But what I haven't seen, my neighbors, my family, people I've known all my life have experienced a lot of stuff, and we've seen a lot of stuff. But what we haven't seen is anything that gives me any kind of confidence that we have been listened to or had our voices heard. Mostly what I've seen is Governor Northam, Mark Herring, DEQ David Paler bending over backwards, letting regulations be steamrolled, ignoring citizens, and letting the MVP get away with whatever it wants. Some of the things that I've seen, some of the things that we were promised was that this pipeline was going to be built through the strictest regulations and through the highest standards. Instead, what I've seen is erosion and sediments into creeks all the way to Smith Mountain Lakes. I've seen pipeline floating and rusting in water-filled ditches that has been there for almost a year. You can go up right now and see those pipes rusting in the water. And I've seen all kinds of, they say they're going to build at these standards. Those standards have been ignored. They haven't addressed the steep slopes of Poor Mountain, which are comparable to the terrain, if not steeper, that caused the explosion of the Trans-Canadian pipeline last June. That was just a few months into operation. All these snake oil salesmen and corporate mouthpieces promised a lot of stuff, a lot of jobs, but I've only seen fleets of out-of-state workers who have actually jeered and been rude to the landowners who are having to witness their own property being destroyed and crying themselves to sleep. All along the way, the MVP has cut corners, even to the point, and this is something that we all can do, and I would like you folks here to help out. There are still lots of regulations that they haven't crossed their T's and dotted their I's, including they have not properly assessed the impacts to any of the endangered species along the route, including the Roanoke log perch, which is important to the Roanoke River. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife is asking for information that should have been considered but was ignored. So please join myself, Delegate Sam Razul, and sign and send the postcards to get our senators to petition FERC to do their job. Now, one thing that I have seen and I see right now is how much more unified everybody for both of these pipelines are becoming. There's more people here than there was last year and the year before that. One thing that I know that they are counting on, the governor is counting on, that all the other politicians at FERC is counting on, that we will eventually go away and we will get tired of this fight. But we ain't gonna go anywhere. We are going to continue to fight and raise our voices for Bent Mountain, for Union Hill, for Franklin County, Giles County, Nelson County, for our homes. We are the ones who live here. This is our home, not the MVP's home, not the ACP's home, not their CEOs, not their investors. We are the citizens. We will continue to watch, monitor, report them, and resist for the rest of our lives until we are heard. We ain't gonna never go anywhere.
How many know water is life? The pipeline set us up for a fatal catastrophe. We're taken to the streets, begging to stop this, please. Pipeline compared to lifeline, no comparisons indeed. Pipeline compared to lifeline, cause of corporate greed.